Five, four, three, two, one.
I'm from a place where the girls are always looking pretty. You might have heard of us, we call it Shy City. We build champions here who define gritty. We don't do excuses, we don't do pity. Rose is coming back stronger, that's a guarantee. Cutler's coming back too, he's beastly. Throwing it to Marshall, the title's ours easily. Black Hawks are winning titles, trophy looking massive. Don't forget about the Cubs, Sox, Crosstown Classic. With so much greatness, we gotta show bravado. You got your boys Ambro and Mike Mercado.
Happy Monday, everybody. You're on WICB in the Chicago Beats. I am Mike Mercado, and I hope everybody had a beautiful weekend as the Cubs and White Sox go into the All-Star break. Looking good. The White Sox with the 2.5 game lead in first place. And the Cubs, hell, they haven't looked so bad since Anthony Rizzo came in. Have won 7 out of their last 10 games since the kid came up from the minor league system. And of course, all the NBA news with the free agency coming up. You could tweet this show. We're everywhere in the universe, guys. We want to hear from you. The show is under construction. We have a big announcement about what we're going to do here on WICB in the Chicago Beat. Secret producer man, I've had to tape his mouth shut. I've had to hold him in a room and tell him you cannot tell anybody. So you can follow us everywhere in the universe at Mercado2333. We're at YouTube /Mike Mercado2333 and Facebook.com /Mike Mercado2333. Jake Peavy, the last time we were on the air, was trying to be the last vote in for the Chicago White Sox. And then there was an uproar because he didn't make the team. Yu Jarvis got him from the Texas Rangers with more votes. That's not a surprise. I mean, he was going to get all of his country's votes plus the Texas Rangers fans, who are probably the best team in Major League Baseball. Yet every single White Sox who should have been there, other than A.J. Pierzynski, is an all-star. Alex Rios, maybe you could argue he could have been an all-star. But at the end of the day, the big thing is they're still in first place. And we're at the all-star break. And nothing has really changed in the division. The Detroit Tigers are still in third place. The Cleveland Indians are still in second place. And it's always been around the same amount of games. It's never been more than 5, but never less than 2. So you're sitting here wondering, as a White Sox fan, what do you need to do to not only get the respect of national media, but what do you have to do to solidify the fact that you're going to be a playoff team? I want to hear from you guys. If you're a Cub fan, Anthony Rizzo is up. Starlin Castro, Brian LaHara are going to be all-stars. Do they really look like the bad team everybody thought they were going to be? The record will tell you one thing, but what do you see when you see them in the eye test? And Ray Allen to the Miami Heat. All this on WICB and the Chicago Beats.
You're listening to WICB with Mike Mercado.
A city that has diehards who know when their teams are bad and know when their teams are good. And yet every single day they go to the stadium.
And that's the beat.
Everything's good here in the south side of Chicago for you White Sox fans as the Chicago White Sox continue on their winning ways and being in the first place with the AL Central. And during the break, me and Secret Producer Man were, of course, arguing with each other. Who's the biggest surprise story of Major League Baseball going into the All-Star break? I think it's the Pittsburgh Pirates in the NL Central with first place lead, first time since '92. Is that right? That's right. It hurts you to do that, right? He thinks it's the White Sox. Now, I don't think that's as stupid as he usually sounds here on the Chicago Beat on WICB. I mean, you follow us, on Twitter at Mercado2333, and on Facebook, you hear some of the dumb stuff he says, and I can't disagree with him that the White Sox might be the biggest surprise of the season so far. Just think, it's almost hard to say. This team was projected to lose almost 100 games by most National League analysts. That's okay. Everybody has their opinion. God knows I have been wrong so many times. Anderson Silva is going to get rocked by Chael Sonnen and is going to lose the UFC championship. Derrick Rose will definitely lead his Bulls to an NBA title before LeBron James. I guarantee you I will not be single this summer.
Sometimes we suck.
Really? Secret producer man? Really? You're going to go below the belt on me like that? It's not my fault you can't beat me at NBA Jam. It's not my fault. It's also not my fault that the White Sox don't get the respect you think they deserve. Or that they, you know what, I'll even go there. As a Cub fan, he's always accusing me of this. No, I do think they're one of the better teams in Major League Baseball. But are they better than the Texas Rangers? Are they better than the Yankees? Are they better than Anaheim? Are they better than Baltimore? They're competitive, yes. So are the Bulls. And nobody here is going to sit here and tell me that they're better than the Heat, the Thunder. We're going to get into that in a second. I'm already all riled up about what's been going on with this NBA free agency. But in the North side, things are looking a little bit calmer. Things are starting to look a little bit more ahead. And is Anthony Rizzo really the difference for this Cubs team? Find out next on WICB and the Chicago Beat.
Fade away. Let me step back and kiss myself. MVP time. Windy City Assassin does it again.
Live from WICB Radio.
Inside the 30. Hester's going to take it all the way for a touchdown. And no flag, 92 yards.
This is
It's a goal. The Stanley Cup to the Chicago Blackhawks.
Chicago's Beat. Hello, Chicago, and everybody on YouTube, Facebook, and on Twitter. It is a beautiful Monday here in the city of Chicago after a record-setting heat wave that we've had over this past weekend. And we were talking earlier today here on WICB and the Chicago Beats whether the White Sox were being respected enough nationally and who was the biggest story. And I just got this tweet from, who is this? At SoxFan69. Interesting. Really? You're gonna do this to me, my show? I'm trying to get a job for ESPN, and you're gonna give me that. Anyway, Mike, what are you thinking? You're a Cubs fan. What difference does it make? What do you know the difference between a winning team and a bad team? 103 years. Go Sox. Well, I'm surprised this isn't Luis Rodriguez. I'm sorry. All right. Okay. Look it. What difference does it make if I'm a Cub fan or not? I could sit here and say, yeah, the White Sox are a good team. They are. They're in first place in the division, and we're going into the All-Star break. I've been saying, show me in June. Show me in July. They've shown me. Show me in August. Show me in September. Show me the dog days of summer. We've seen, just last season, guys, we've seen the Atlanta Braves, the Boston Red Sox have all-time collapses in Major League Baseball. So please, before you bite my head off and say I'm just a homer Cub fan, just take a step back and think, if this were the Cubs, would we be just being called dumb Cub fans? Speaking about dumb Cub fans, I've been watching every single game since this kid came up from AAA in Anthony Rizzo. And let me tell you this, he's not the savior of this team, but damn, he's good. He is good. He not only, let's take away the fact that he's an awesome at-bat. He plays defense, and he plays solid defense. And this is a team that has had solid first basemen in Carlos Pena, Derek Lee, Mark Grace. To see that he's a 5-tool player, he can do it all. And the kid has, 4 home runs since he got up here in the majors, having a struggle in San Diego. And that just goes to show that maybe there is some method to this madness about getting at-bats and getting the bat off of your system. Now, the Cubs are still 19 games below 500, but it's a different type of bat. It's not, where are we now? The world is ending. I can't do this. It doesn't feel that way. It feels like it's a young team that needs to be developed. And what happens? What happens if some of this talent does work out? Because you've already seen it with Starlin Castro. You're seeing it with Rizzo. Now, you don't want to jump the shark and say it's a guarantee, but at least it's something you can put your head on and say, okay, I see it. I see where you're going at this. Ryan Dempster comes back from the DL and continues, 23 scoreless innings? That's ridiculous. The guy's having an awesome season. Even the struggles the Cubs have had, pitching has not been a problem. It's just, it's an inconsistent team because it's young. It has players on the downside of their career, players who are working for contracts. They don't know if they're going to be traded, if they're going to stay here, where the regime is going. This season was built for failure. We knew this. We were told this. But now there's definitely a light at the end of the tunnel. Whether that's 2013, whether that's 2014, whether that's 2015. At least for the Chicago Cubs, there is a destination and a plan to this Theo regime at Wrigley Field. And that just is good baseball for the city of Chicago, a city that deserves good baseball after all the bad news over this early part of the summer with the Chicago Bulls and leading into a Bear season, which, trust me guys, I know I get tweets and complaints all the time. We don't talk about the Bears. That's not it. Trust me, that's all we're going to be talking about is the Chicago Bears. We know that. So let's give it some time. I don't want to wear out any story. We know the Bears are going to look good. But let's talk about these baseball teams right now and the home run contest tonight that you can catch on ESPN. Are you going to watch it? I'm interested. I'm always interested in the home run contest. I think all-star games are awesome. A lot of people don't, and I get it. Listen, let me tell you something. I understand why people don't think all-star games are good. or are pointless. I get it. But for me, it's entertainment value. I get to sit at home if I want to, crack a beer, hang out with some friends, chill out, have a lazy day, whatever. Put on the home run contest. You can watch the slam dunk contest, 3-point competition, the All-Star games. Who cares? Who cares what? People complain so much, yet the ratings will show people are watching, so I don't get it. It's just like all these some of these shows on TV. You watch this show? Well, that's stupid. Okay, well, 2 other million people didn't think so. Again, I have another outlook at it. I guess I'm happy when 3 people like my Facebook status and 2 people have listened to my show, right? You're on WICB in the Chicago Beat.
You're listening to WICB with Mike Mercado.
A city that has diehards who know when their teams are bad and know when their teams are good. And yet every single day they go to the stadium.
And that's the Beat.
Now, to me, it's the best time of the year. People think Christmas is, New Year's, birthdays, you name it, everybody thinks that the best day of the year is the first day of NBA free agency. It is the day where all hell breaks loose and everything just starts happening. And guess what happened in the NBA? Since we've been gone, let me tell you what has happened, okay? Before our last show, Kevin Garnett just signed a 3-year, $34 million contract. A lot of things happened. What's going on today in the NBA on Monday, July 9th, 2012? Here, I'll tell you. The Brooklyn Nets have Joe Johnson, Darren Williams, maybe are working on a 4-team trade to get Dwight Howard, Gerald Wallace. That's the Brooklyn Nets, guys. How about the team that won the NBA Finals? How about the team that, LeBron James doesn't think we're rivals with? And if you want to hear that, just listen to what this guy has to say about the Chicago Bulls. The Miami Heat get Ray Allen. Are you kidding me? And John Lucas III is talking to them? Now, that's not really the big move, but Ray Allen, a sharpshooter, is joining the Miami Heat. Why do I bring all this up? Why is it a big deal? Because the Bulls are sitting on their hand. And it's because they have no choice. They have no money. They signed Kirk Heinrich. I like the move. I think the move for Kirk Heinrich's a solid move. Now, we're smarter as Bulls fans than we were 5 years ago with Kirk Heinrich. We understand his limitations, where he is, where he stands in a lot of things, what we are getting from this player. We always put these expectations of Kirk Heinrich being Captain Kirk. He's going to be our guy. And I was one of them, guys. I was a kid when they drafted him. He was my favorite Bull, and probably will still be one of my favorite Bulls. So is Brian Scalabrine, okay, guys? So don't get over anything with that. But the big reason this is, I would say, a good, nice move for the Chicago Bulls. The simple fact is a guard that plays defense, not great defense. Don't get that twisted, people. He doesn't play great defense. He plays hard defense. He hustles. Great defense, LeBron James plays. Okay? That's great defense. What Ron Artest used to play like when they were winning those titles, that was great defense. Kirk Heinrich does not play great defense. That's besides the point. He'll be a bridge between now and when Derrick Rose comes back. You drafted Marcus Teague. I think it's a nice draft pick. At 29, you're not drafting for needs. You're drafting for potential, for best available. I get it. You needed a big guard, but guess what? Name players that are better than Marcus Teague right now. Go ahead. That's how many there were. So obviously in that room, they thought that Marcus Teague was the guy that they needed at 29. That's fine. That's fine. This team has done pretty well about drafting late players. Taj Gibson, Jimmy Butler, Omir Sheik, right? It's not bad, guys. It's not bad at all. And on Omir Sheik, I would not match that offer sheet from the Houston Rockets. I'm an Omir Sheik fan. A Sheik and Destroy. Look at the Turkish Hammer. I'm with it. I'm with Omir. My problem is he has dolphin hands. Can't catch the ball. Digressed in offense. Is a shot adjuster. A big body. But is he Dwight Howard? Is he Andrew Bynum? No, he's a 7-footer. But there's a lot of... That's like saying, okay, because Kobe Bryant's 6'5" and he can shoot the ball, then we got to find somebody 6'5" who has the same form. I mean, it doesn't make sense that just because he's a big body, he's going to work out. And yeah, they're rare in today's league, but there's a reason why. You have to be able to pick and roll, catch the ball, play some offense. You can do what he does and get 12 rebounds in a game and absolutely change the outcome of it. But is it worth $15 million? Is it worth a max contract? Is it worth destroying your payroll? No, not for him. Not for him. Guys, this is not Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose, you adjust your whole team to. You adjust the organization to whatever that needs cause, not throw me or sheep. That's what's upsetting, and that's what's been upsetting a lot of Bulls fans, and I've been hearing it. That's what's killing it, is the fact that there's no movement on the Bulls. We wrap it up next here on WICB and the Chicago Beat.
Fade away. Let me step back and kiss myself. MVP time. Windy City Assassin does it again.
Live from WICB Radio.
Inside the 30. Hester's going to take it all the way for a touchdown. And no flag, 92 yards.
This is
It's a goal. The Stanley Cup to the Chicago Blackhawks.
Chicago's Beat.
So I know I teased it earlier, and I know, some of you guys were like, who is this guy to tease anything? But listen, I had to do it. It's part of what I do. Also, what I kind of do is I promote my school that gave me the opportunity to let me get to this point where I'm at right now, and hopefully to another level starting Tuesday and not Thursday. Because WICB is brought to you by the Illinois Center for Broadcasting. If you guys have ever thought, this sounds awesome, I want to do this, why can't I talk about sports, about music, politics, fashion, news, traffic, whatever it is, whatever you like to do when you're in the car, or you're in the shower, or you're hanging out at the gym, whatever it is you like to listen to. If you think you could be good at it, visit beonair.com and visit one of the 2 awesome campuses here in the Chicagoland area. There's one downtown on State Street, and there's one here in Lombard in the suburbs. Guys, I went there, I graduated in less than a year. And in less than a year, I've talked to stations in ESPN, CBS, Fox, all the stations you can think of, guys. And I'm just Mike Mercado. Then again, I am Mike Mercado here on WICB and the Chicago Beat. So don't forget, beonair.com, where broadcasting careers begin. So the big announcement, the Chicago Beats format is changing. That's right, we are no longer just a sports show. The Chicago Beat is bigger than that, because guess what? Chicago is bigger than that. And Mike Mercado can expand his mind a little bit more. So what that means is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday will be the Chicago Beat Sports Edition. Tuesday and Thursday, we will have the Chicago Beats Entertainment Edition, where we will play music and talk about the stories of everything other than sports. And then we will finally have the Chicago Beats Weekend Warrior Edition, which will be on Saturday, put up on Sunday, where that will be all open to whatever I feel like and whatever you guys tweet me. So, what that means is, I'm putting you guys to work. I'm putting my listeners on WICB and the Chicago Beat to work. Tweet me, Facebook me, YouTube, whatever you want to do, we're everywhere. Interact with us in the Blogiverse. What you guys want to listen to and what you guys want to do here on the Chicago Beat. For everybody here on WICB, for Senior Producer Man and everybody who listens to me, you've been here on WICB.